Namaste my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to talk about the full moon we have tonight on September 24th, 2018, and what it means for you and what it means for your life and your own personal journey and evolution. The main theme I'm picking up right now very strongly, you might even feel this in your own life already. I wrote down personal revolution. There's a threshold of how much we take before a major change sort of blossoms. And what I mean by that, it's almost like a bully. I don't know if you had any kids in your school, or maybe it was you that were bullied in like high school or something. And I remember this one kid, he was bullied almost every single day, but there was finally one day where it was just the straw that broke the camel's back, and this kid just flipped out on the bully, and from that point forward, this kid was not picked on because there was a threshold, a personal revolution in that one moment for that kid. This you might notice within yourself. And the bully is the ego. It's the doubt. It's the conditioned self-limiting beliefs, the patterns of self-sabotage and heavy emotional cycles that weigh you down like a wet blanket. I'm not suggesting the energies are going to lift them for you. I'm saying you're going to probably find yourself getting so sick of them, sick of their presence, sick of their weight, determined to transcend them. Regardless of what the full moon or anybody else is doing, you've had enough. You're so aware of just to the degree you hold yourself back constantly from greatness, from the life you know you're capable of living, and you might just be sick of it, fed up, ready, on the brink, on the threshold of a personal revolution that you can take full credit for. That's what I'm picking up right now, my friends. Now, before I get into the 5 themes that will bring clarity to this message for you, let me just say, if you're new to my channel, which I know a lot of people find me from the full moon videos in particular, I want to say welcome to you, and that I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate you, because if you're watching a video like this, it implies to me that you're on this rigorous path of personal development, which I know is not easy, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody on this path, even if you don't end up liking me or my video. I respect you and I thank you. And I have a gift for you. I have a free meditation that I made just based on my years of doing these videos and seeing where people are at. I created a meditation that will help you with your own personal healing process. It's totally free. You can check it out down below in the description box. And with that, we'll get into number 1. Number 1, you might feel motivated, determined, and out of patience. A call, an inner nudge, a readiness to human up, to take charge of your life. You might not feel supported. In fact, as you'll get into the video, you'll probably feel the emotional blockages might seem more obnoxious than ever. But you're ready now, for whatever reason, to take charge of your life in spite of the energies, your symptoms, how you feel, what you think. There's a part of you that's awake now, a new level of will and determination, and again, a complete lack of patience. You might feel very held down. You might have emotional stuff flaring up and weighing you down, but you're just so tired of watching this stuff stifle the forward progress you know you can make. And you might just decide, to push the envelope. What if I try to do this thing that's been scary to me anyways? What if I do it even if I feel really doubtful or afraid or not in my best space? Maybe the circumstances aren't that favorable. What if I try? What if I push that envelope? I'll tell you what'll happen. You hopefully have already seen this a little bit, is that the envelope will bend. That the ego flares that we all deal with, especially during the full moons, which can happen mentally, emotionally, physically, literally, they're not as powerful as we once thought. And just like that bully, maybe they seem more powerful than ever, but you're so sick of getting bullied by it that you push their envelope. And you say, oh my goodness, if that envelope bends, when I'm not feeling my best, when I'm not thinking about myself in the best light, when circumstances aren't that ideal, imagine when things do fall into place, how fast you can rip through that envelope. It's the time to go for it and push the envelope and watch it bend. Number 2, you might become aware of your emergency brakes. What I mean by that, is imagine you're in this sports car and you know it goes up to 200 miles an hour, maybe 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds. It's powerful. And yet you're just like trolling along, puttering along, constantly stopping yourself, stopping. You know there's this potential, you're in this fast car, but it's just going so slow, stopping all the time. You don't even need gas. You just got the oil change, you're ready to rock. What's the deal? Well, the emergency brakes have been pressed, and you weren't aware of that. And those emergency brakes, it's the conditioned ego. It's the aspect of yourself that was taught to believe it's incapable. It's not good enough. It's not strong enough. It's not smart enough. It's not wise enough. You're not lucky enough. And therefore, it wants to prevent you from feeling anything but a sense of pale predictability and try desperately to maintain this semblance of an illusion of safety. Just this ego, these emergency brakes. And now you finally look down and it dawns on you that the brake has been pressed. And you're on that threshold of change. Sometimes to get to that threshold of change, the emergency brake might have to start working more effectively. You might start noticing you're stopping yourself more often. You're feeling slower, more sluggish than ever, and yet your will, your desire to really take control of your life is getting stronger and stronger, and finally there's a culmination of awareness. The emergency brake, I never thought of that. And now it's a matter of just letting it go. But it takes a sufficient level of awareness, which for me and you, people going through this, it comes in the form of emotional blocks seeming more blocky, seeming more intense, seeming more weighty, seeming more difficult to move through. Sometimes you know you want to do something and there's time you feel ready and confident to do so, but a lot of times when it comes down to doing it consistently, these brakes are pressed. These emotions can be so obnoxious, so overwhelming, to the point where a lot of us end up coping in negative ways with unhealthy food or alcohol or drugs or even worse, because it's so challenging. But I'm saying this full moon might make you so sensitive, so open, so aware, so conscious, that even though your emotions might be stormier than ever, there will be enough to make you realize that they're just emergency brakes. You press them, and now you can unpress them. And that is the threshold necessary for massive change that you have courageously attracted into your life for that purpose. Number 3, personal healing becomes a goal, becomes something on your mind, becomes a good option. Because I admit, sometimes it's not as easy as just lifting up the emergency brake. I wish it was. But there are things out there that can really loosen up the emergency brake in an accelerated type of way. Just different rituals and practices and modalities. There's so many out there. They're all valid, but you might find yourself attracted to or attracting into your life something that resonates, I almost bit my tongue there, that works for you. Like me, I'll show you. Can you see those dots? That's Cambo. That's a frog poison. It just sort of stumbled into my lap. I just got back from San Diego, and my wife had this ceremony planned, something I wasn't really that aware of. It's a Cambo ceremony or combo, and it's where you willingly put this frog poison on open wounds, and it's supposed to really purge you of emotional heaviness. It's a physical cleanse, and it just sort of fell into my lap, and I did it, and I feel cleansed. It was a very accelerated personal healing experience that fell into my lap as a result of my desire to lift up those emergency brakes. Once you become aware they've been pressed, you naturally have an intention to lift it. And therefore, because you're a powerful co-creator, you will attract into your life solutions quickly. It doesn't have to be as extreme as Cambo. It's pretty damn extreme, I've got to admit. I don't know how many times I'll do that again. It had its place for me. It was effective, but it was rough. Another thing I'm doing much more mildly, I just started juicing. I listened to this Joe Rogan podcast, and one of the MMA fighters who I respect a lot, TJ Dillashaw, he was talking about his diet and how he's doing his juicing and stuff. And just listening to that sparked something in me. I used to juice before. It resonated. I'm juicing like a madman, making my greens juice every morning. That's a way to cleanse and detoxify and heal myself. Now, with that said, you might feel like you're doing some of these things in your own way, maybe completely different than what I'm doing. But what that'll do is help you a lot. But you sometimes might feel the underlying emotions that were leading to those brakes being pushed in the first place, flaring up even more. So it's a time of really courageous emotional healing and transcendence. That willpower will give you what you need to stay the course. After this Cambo and after my fast and after the juicing, I felt really emotionally at unrest, and I felt really drawn to unhealthy foods. I really wanted to escape in some way. And in the past, I might have done so because it was kind of rough for me. But I have that willpower I talked about earlier in the video. It was like, no. I just had that strength that isn't always there, but is now. Okay? So I know I said kind of a lot there with the personal healing. I'm going to move on, but hopefully some of that resonated. Number 4, you might feel called to guard your mind, to protect your consciousness that is already going through a lot right now from negativity in all forms. People, influences, energies, situations, music, television, people. Because of this inner awareness and this desire to purify your consciousness so that you can go forward without those brakes being on, it will make you realize that there may be things in your life reinforcing those emotions which are pressing those brakes. For example, a while back I was having issues with allowing myself to read too many of my YouTube comments, which for the most part I feel so blessed that they're 99% incredibly loving and positive. But sometimes when a video of mine will start to be spread a lot to like people other than within this sort of close-knit niche, and regular people, you could say, start seeing it, I get a lot of negativity, a lot of negative feedback. And I was watching those, and I was realizing how much that negativity was affecting me. I could be in a really good mood and be really upbeat, but a couple, even 1 out of 10 comments, all positive except that one, it held me down. And I realized I have to literally protect myself from potentially negative input that takes me off of my square. So you might just be discovering a greater awareness of what are your negative influences, what keeps reinforcing the old version of you that you could assert yourself and set just personal boundaries. For me, it was just, don't look at the comments, Vic. For you, it might be, I need to spend some time apart, friend, or maybe consider a different position within my job, boss. You see the idea. Now, with that said, you might find the opposite, fortunately, is happening as well. As you do this, you might find positive influences are falling into your life that are telling you exactly what you need to hear to keep you going and growing and working through those blocks. It might be a book, it might be a new YouTube mentor, it could be some friend falls into your lap, it could be anything. For me, I just happen to be finding myself, I found like a new YouTube person and a new book, and they're both just like so spot on for the exact type of encouragement I need at this time to help me with my own personal blocks. And it's a combination of getting rid of what's reinforcing those blocks, letting in, willingly choosing to let in stuff that fuels the version of me I wish to be. And there's this whole like metamorphosis going down in this regard. Number 5, personal transcendence. Not by grace, not because the energies are letting up, they're stronger than ever, not because you're getting lucky, but because you're choosing to. You're waking up to the power within your will, with the courage within your soul, that warrior spirit that sometimes is necessary because we're in a battle with ourselves. And that's coming alive, that's on board, it's alive and well within you. And you will change, you will manifest, you will shift, you will take charge and improve your life, come into a greater alignment with happiness, joy, purpose, good relationships, not because you put in your time, not because of the energy, but because you finally choose to. You are the creator of all that you want, but we've been led to believe that we are victimized subjects to the influence of our environment. And that's, in a sense, true, but you can become so wise to that and take charge of even that and optimize your life with the personal healing, with the will to change, with the rearrangement of what you allow into your consciousness, and that will allow for your courage, your strength to blossom enough for you to take charge and succeed at taking back your life. That's what's on the table. That's what's possible right now. I don't think it's going to be easy. It hasn't been easy for me. It hasn't been an easy week for me. It wasn't even an easy morning for me. I woke up with a lot of stuff on my mind, a lot of emotions up at the surface, and I wanted to shoot this video. And in the past, I would have saw it as a sign to not. But I was like, no. In fact, I came right here in this chair, as crummy as I felt. I skipped my morning shower, my morning cold shower, which usually helps me. I don't have them right here, but I sat in this chair. As restless as I felt, I meditated. I went through my morning ritual, even though I didn't want to. I committed to the things I wrote down the night before, even though I felt like it was like just dragging my booty the whole time. I was just not into it. And because I pushed the envelope, I burst into myself. I rediscovered my true self in this morning. And in the past, I would have let my circumstance, my emotional circumstance, the full moon especially, as an excuse to sit back passively and wait for the grace. The grace is here. And the grace is not coming in the form of a grace, just like many blessings come in the form of problems. But these problems catalyze growth. And when you grow and expand and mold into your potential and then proceed through life in that way, it's 100 times more satisfying than if something was just gifted to you. Big potential today, this month, and especially going into the new year. I know there might be still a time of feeling uncertain. Certain projects might not be as developed or far along enough to give you the security you want. You might still be in a massive transition right now. But if you can roll with this theme of empowerment I'm discussing now, then there is so much up ahead, so much on the horizon, even like today, if you want. Okay, good stuff, my friends, and I commend you because I know how hard this is for me, and I know how hard it must be for you guys too. It's not an easy thing to transcend yourself in the way we are as quickly as we are. So know you're strong and know you're appreciated and know that I love you and I'm here for you, and I'll continue to make these videos as often as possible. Okay, my friends? Have an amazing day. Namaste.